The stories of this cabin are infamous. That wasn't. The shadow figures, the intimidating energies, the screams.
Is it okay if I Huh!
What?
Look at this. What is that?
How do you explain that?
I can't. That's one of the strangest things I've ever had happen. This was one of those cases where the crime was so personal and so horrendous. What did he do to you?
Hurt me.
It was determined at that point that a block of firewood had been used. She was hit with it repeatedly.
Cheryl, is that you?
Ghost stories have terrified humans for longer than history can document. And even in the most beautiful and peaceful of places, a tale of hauntings could be hiding just beneath the surface. Some are based on legend and folklore, while others come from real tragedy.
You know, we found that the best ghost stories are caused by real history. And tonight we're gonna investigate Cabin 13 here at Babcock State Park. And 26 years ago, a couple named Mike and Cheryl Flippo came here to vacation for a romantic getaway. After that night, Cheryl Flippo was dead, and Mike Flippo was sentenced to life in prison.
This was one of those cases where the crime was so personal and so horrendous that it just leaves that imprint behind. It leaves that imprint on the walls of this cabin.
The stories of this cabin are infamous. The shadow figures, the intimidating energies, the screams. And tonight we're here to see if we can capture proof of paranormal evidence. But what actually happened? Before we can properly investigate the haunting, we have to know the history.
I was in Fayetteville at the time. It was raining real hard. I received a disturbance complaint from Babcock State Park, individual stating he had been attacked by 10 to 12 people in a cabin, him and his wife. At the time I arrived at the scene, he was sitting on the porch at a paid telephone at the main headquarters there at the parking lot when I arrived. He was in white underwear, had a cut on the right side of the underwear. He was, it was raining, he was wet. When I pulled up, he started screaming, "Don't hit me, don't touch me." I told him who I was. I wasn't there to hurt him, I was there to help him. I was trying to get some more facts about what had taken place. He told me 10 or 12 guys came in the cabin and attacked him and his wife. I asked him where his wife was at. He said, "I think she's still at the cabin."
There were talks that, you know, they drove a green Cadillac here, but when Sergeant Bryant made it to scene, there was a red Camaro parked at the top of the hill. And at that point, he started realizing that the story just really wasn't adding up.
When I asked him how he got here, he described the green Cadillac, exactly what it looked like, everything else. But when I got here, the red car was sitting there. It had a T-shirt hanging off of the side view mirror on it. Well, as I approached the cabin, I'd look for anything out of place, disorder or anything. I went to the back door, which would pass on the walkway. I went to knock on it. I opened up the screen door. There's a bag of garbage that fell out of the door. So I know no one had been in or out of that door. I then listened. There was no sounds or anything. I came around to the front door. The door was open, the screen door was shut. I announced myself through the screen door, asked for anybody responding. There's no noise, nothing coming out of the cabin. I shined the flashlight through to see if there was any tracks or anything on the floor. The only prints I seen on the floor was bare footprints. I then entered the cabin. The bed was sitting adjacent to the door. I seen a spot of blood where the pillow would have been. I shined the light around the room, didn't see nothing else. Set of steps to the right side of the room, led up to a loft. I went up in the loft. There was another bed there with a pillow missing off of it. I looked around the floor for the pillow. I shined the light over top of the rail down into the main room, and that's when I observed her on the floor between the bed and the wall. It was determined at that point that a block of firewood had been used, and she was hit with it repeatedly. He was coming back down the sidewalk when I went back outside. I escorted him back up to my vehicle. At that time, I called for backup, helped secure the scene, and called for an ambulance.
And then they found out that not even 30 days prior, Mr. Flippo had taken out a $100,000 life insurance policy on his wife with himself as the beneficiary. After that was discovered, police knew they'd found their man. This is very secluded, so you can see why, if his plan was to bring her out here to murder her, that he chose this cabin.
Yeah, it's the very last cabin on this road here. It's as far as you can go.
We have been researching this ghost story, looking at this cabin for a possible investigation for a long time. And we're finally gonna set foot inside here, and we're finally going to be staying inside this cabin to see if the stories are true. If that one dark moment in this cabin's history left a stain on it that still replays itself to this day.
I'm excited to get in here and check it out.
Yes.
Is it open?
It is. Wow. As soon as you walk in the door, do you feel that?
Oh, absolutely.
It is heavy in here.
It's like an overwhelming sense of just, I don't want to say dread, but like pressure. It kind of feels like the walls are closing in on you a little bit.
And it has been 26 years or so since this actually happened. And while we are not here on the actual date that this all took place, because that tragic night was the 29th of April into the 30th of April. And we are here on the 25th into the 26th of April. But that was the last Monday and Tuesday night in the month of April in 1996 that this occurred, and we are here on the last Monday and Tuesday night in the month of April in 2022. So because of the changing of the days in the calendar, we're here on the exact night of the week 26 years later from the time this took place. Maybe that will help stir up some energy. And maybe we can capture on camera what people have experienced in cabin 13 here. We're gonna leave the cabin for a few minutes. And while we're gone, you can use this ball on the bed. It's putting out a lot of static energy. People believe that you can use that energy to speak to us or move things. So if you touch this ball, you might be able to talk to us. But whether cabin 13 is still haunted by the history of this murder remains to be seen. That's why we're here. But the fact that it's cabin number 13 isn't doing it any favors either. In legend and folklore, people say that this cabin is notoriously haunted and cursed. People come from miles around just to get a glimpse at this cabin. And this is where we're going to be staying tonight.
And along with those legends are reports of a shadow figure standing and looming over top of the bed from up in the loft, just giving the most vile feelings to these people down there. And even reports of a woman screaming from within the cabin. And it just, you know, again, like you said, that cabin number 13 and everything else just adds around to this really cool haunting here.
But I know I'm excited to stay the night here inside cabin 13 at Babcock State Park to see if these claims of paranormal activity are true and to see if we can have our own experiences and capture our own evidence from the stories and legends that have made this cabin famous. So you're ready to go inside and start this investigation, Dave?
Yeah, I'm excited to get this one started, ready to get in there, get the cameras rolling, and see if we can make contact with, you know, the looming shadow, the screeching woman, or maybe possibly even Cheryl, and give her a chance to communicate tonight. So
let's do it. I'm ready for this. We're getting ready to leave cabin 13 here. Part of the story is that when Mike and Cheryl came here to this cabin on Cheryl's last night alive, when her life was brutally and viciously taken from her, the night began on their romantic getaway with them playing cards and eating ice cream to try and tap into that residual energy and try and put ourselves as close as we possibly can to that night in order to draw out paranormal activity. We brought just that, playing cards, and we're going to put some ice cream in here in hopes that whoever is here will come out and speak to us. And if Cheryl is here, Cheryl, we're so sorry that that happened to you, and we want you to tell your story. My name is Ryan, and that's Dave, and we only mean you absolute kindness and respect. There's lots of different lights here inside the cabin that we can use to speak to you. If you touch these lights, they'll go off. So, whoa. Hello?
Cheryl, is that you?
Whoa. Thank you.
Cheryl, I feel like I've been talking to you all evening. Have you been hearing me? If you have, can you light that up again?
Whoa. Yeah, she
Okay.
has been, man.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. That's so cool.
Yeah.
See, we want you to have a chance to speak your own story. We're going to leave this stuff set up for you. We want you to communicate with us with this stuff. And I've been in and out here all day talking like a crazy person to myself, thinking you were listening to me. So hopefully you were, and hopefully you listened to us and communicate by using this stuff.
And you're more than welcome to take these cards, I'll put them here on the end. If you want to knock these cards on the floor that I just put on the edge of the table, or move the spoons in the bowls, you're more than welcome to touch that as well as this light, like we said.
Yep.
So if there's anything dark here that came about from the vicious If there's anything dark here that came into this cabin from the vicious murder of Cheryl Flippo, we'd like to speak to you as well. People say they see a dark figure standing over the bed when they're sleeping in here. And if that's a malicious entity that was brought here by that heinous act, we'd love to speak to you as well, and for you to show us that you're here. For right now, we're going to get out of here. Leave this place to you. We hope you speak to us.
We've conducted these abandonment sessions for the last 10 years to see if anything unexplained happens when a building is completely empty. The most peculiar thing about this session is how quiet it actually was. Multiple noises were captured. The only sound that seemed unusual beyond the standard creaks and pops of an old cabin was captured on the camera pointing down the stairs from the loft. Oddly enough, it almost sounds like someone or something is touching the camera. The EDI plus meter did detect changes in temperature and air pressure, but in the absence of other phenomena, temperature fluctuations don't really amount to much. What really stood out to us is that the absence of paranormal activity isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Cheryl, is that you?
Especially when the Mel meter's REM function was alarming on command before we left. And now it sits quiet. Hopefully, when we return, the famous supernatural activity of Cabin 13 will show itself to us.
All right. So, we're going to be doing an Estus method spirit box session here. I'm going to be laying on the bed here at Cabin 13, and I'm going to see what comes through. I do need to take my shoes off here so I don't track dirt onto the bed, but I'm quite interested to see what comes through here. I'm going to be listening. Dave's going to be asking the questions. We have REM pod, Mel meter, EDI plus meter is going to be set up here on the bed beside me because it's not proximity. I have it turned on right now to the EMF setting, so the numbers displayed on screen are the milligauss of electromagnetic frequency that it is sensing. So we're going to try and do this. I got my blindfold here, my trusty blindfold. I should have waited to put the blindfold on until I got the headphones on my ears. Here we go. Got them. Okay. So. Oh. And we are rolling.
All right, Cheryl. If you are here with us, I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. Ryan over here has the headphones on. If you respond, you can respond to us through the radio that he's listening to. It's pretty cool. So, can you please tell him your name through that radio? What is the name of the man who hurt you?
Man's voice sounded like he was in pain. I couldn't make it out though, but it sounded very distressed.
You can communicate to us through the box that Ryan is using. He has on headphones and he can hear you.
On the floor?
That's creepy. That's where she was found. What about the floor? Did somebody pass away on the floor?
Who's that?
If you're referring to us, my name is Dave, and this is Ryan right over here. What is your name? Somebody did something awful to somebody else here in this building, in this cabin.
I'm here.
Okay, who's here? Is there a stronger male presence here who threatens all the other spirits here?
Oh. Woman's voice. First woman's voice I've heard. Either Messy or Jessie.
Okay, could you repeat yourself to Ryan? We're not sure what you said there.
Felt like something just poked me in the foot.
That is so weird. Just as that happened, I heard an audible laugh in here. Covered in cold chills. Who are you? What is your name? Tell Ryan what your name is. Did somebody take your life here?
No. It was like a long, elongated, like, no.
What? I heard that. What happened to you here?
I want to try something. Ooh. Man, very creepy man's voice.
This is one of those responses that I wish I would have understood in the moment. Just as I laid down on the floor between the wall and the bed, a man's voice sounds like he says, Cheryl.
Ooh. Ooh. Man, very creepy man's voice.
Could he be referring to Cheryl Flippo, whose murder sparked the famous ghost story of Cabin 13?
I've moved up here to give you a little space. On the table, there is a glowing red light. Can you try and touch that and make it go off?
It's true. Woman's voice.
Is it true that you're here? Or is it true that he hurt you in here? What did he do to you?
Hurt me. Woman's voice.
What did he do to you?
Hurt me. Hurt me.
Cheryl, was it Mike who hurt you? Or if Cheryl is not here with us right now, and there's another spirit here, can you please tell us your name? Can you come out and tell us your name, please? Every time that I stand right here, I get covered in cold chills. Look at this.
He's here.
Who is here? Me? Is there a male presence here who makes people do bad things?
Okay. I'm back up.
You good?
Who are you looking at? Man's voice. Who? What the f? Oh. Dude, something just was right in front of my face there. That scared the out of me. Oh my god. Hold on a second, that made my heart stop.
What do you mean somebody was right in front of you?
I don't know, it was weird because I'm blindfolded and I can't see anything, but like, with the blindfold on, from left to right, something passed right here and it got like super heavy and dark and it scared the out of me. I know that's so hard to, like, that's not a good explanation of it, but like.
It's like something invaded your space.
Yeah, but it was dark. That's one of the most bizarre things I've experienced in a while. That caught me off guard.
What seems to be happening, I think Cheryl is here, but I think that these reports of a strong male figure, an overpowering male figure, I think there might be something to it.
I almost don't want to stop doing that, but the place I was getting the responses was when I laid on the floor.
Yeah.
There's only so long you can lay down there before you, and even doing that I felt uncomfortable, but after I stood up was when something went, it felt like something came at me.
I think Cheryl is here from time to time, but I do think there's an overpowering male presence in here.
Yeah. Let's go for Ghost 2. You set it down here. That's weird. What the hell? It's saying there's a very strong magnetic frequency right here on the bed, but there shouldn't be because, well, we'll leave it sit there and see what happens. Run up there and grab that camera. What's gonna happen if I run up here and grab this camera?
Lost.
Lost. Cheryl? Cheryl, are you here? Cheryl, did he hurt you? Also, is there something on this bed that
Headphones.
is flashing blue? I saw a bright blue light here.
Okay, I'm coming down.
No, it was the EDI.
Was it?
Yeah, there it goes.
Must have been the temperature drop.
It didn't do that the entire time that we were doing the Estes, so.
Well, yeah, there it goes again. Drop in temperature, change in air pressure.
Are you sitting there on the edge of the bed?
Ooh, I got chills now.
Yeah. I want to try something.
Okay.
I don't know why, and I don't want to do this just because you were doing it. That was me.
You want to lay down there?
I'm getting this overwhelming sense to lie down here. Is it okay if I lie? Huh!
What?
Look at this. What is that?
I don't see anything.
Something wet. Look at that.
Ew, what the hell?
I don't know.
Where'd it come from?
I don't know. I put my hand over the bed. And it was there.
Hold on, let me see.
Fight.
Fight.
The roof isn't leaking, is it? You wouldn't think, because it's right over the bed. There's no wet spot.
No wet spot. I literally just went like this.
I definitely documented that on camera. There's
Yeah.
moisture on you.
Yeah, it's about to drip off.
And is it raining outside?
I don't think so.
Doesn't sound like it.
Here, let me go look.
No, it's dry as a bone out here.
Dry as a bone.
No water at all.
I can't.
What in the world?
Follow you.
I'm so confused. No water. Okay, that
How do you
is-
explain that?
I can't. That's one of the strangest things I've ever had happen. I'm gonna go check the bed again, but
Yeah, because if it was a condensation water drip, it would have been dripping onto the comforter.
yeah.
You tell me that only one drop of water comes off of that, and that drop of water hits you in the hand as you are putting your hand over the bed
On camera.
on camera.
What if that was like, and I know this is way, way out there, but what if that was like some sort of like portal opening? Because the EDI temp was going up, temp going down, barometric pressure was going nuts. There was random water, and now it's stopped. And that was right after we felt that dark energy. And you felt somebody get in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel lazy just lying here, but I don't know where that light went. Here. My phone, which is on airplane.
Peaceful.
What?
Wow.
Right as it said peaceful.
Right as it said peaceful, it started to go off. That was cool.
That was cool. Let me just try something because I had my phone out,
Okay.
but it's in airplane mode.
Yeah.
Like, look, you can see it's in airplane mode. Nothing.
No. It's not like we stomped.
Hold on here.
Shoulda.
That was crazy.
Can't really see that well, even with that light. That's why I wanted that flashlight.
Or yeah, that's the whole reason I got that. I don't want to look for that flashlight.
So, we're gonna check the ceiling here to see if, for sure, there's any sort of water drips or anything like that. So, we got this flashlight right here, and we are going to try and see if there are any spots that we can see that would be considered wet spots.
Right about here.
That's where you had your hand.
Yeah, right around in here. So straight up would be about the second beam down.
only thing I see up there. Cobwebs.
There's nothing up there, you guys. Can you see? It's dry. There's the cobwebs Ryan was just talking about.
I don't know. It's very strange.
It is very strange.
People believe that this cabin is haunted. Is that true? You can use this box right here in my hand that's sitting in front of me to speak to us. And your voice will come through this. This thing is just a way to make your voice more clear. Who's the man's voice that we hear coming through? If you don't want to come through this box with your voice, you can touch one of the lights that's around here. They're just ways for you to let us know that you're here. Hate?
We'll have to double check that one. Is there a dark energy here on this property that makes people do bad things?
Who's over there in the kitchen?
That was weird.
Who's the man that people see standing over the bed when they stay here in cabin 13? Who is that? There it was again. Yeah. Were you hearing that when I was running the Estus method?
No.
Who's in the kitchen? Well, no luck through that.
No.
There it was again.
Yeah.
Who's moving around in the kitchen back there? Can you move something for us? Push something over?
I wonder if that's the faucet in there.
Could be. That wasn't.
What was that? Cutting night shot. What was that?
Was that panel box open?
No, because I opened it and closed it earlier. I wonder if that's the faucet in there.
Could be.
I wonder if that's the faucet in there.
Could be. That wasn't.
I mean, that's how I had it right there. But it was like that when I went to it, so it's not like that happens.
Yeah. We'll find out, I guess. That's kind of weird.
It is. Kind of give the wall a couple of pushes there.
Okay, so it's latched.
It's very hair trigger, isn't it?
It is very hair triggered, so that may have been what the sound was, but then again, it may not have been. I don't know.
Here, walk this in there, and then I'll make it come open and see if it sounds similar.
Turning on night shot. Okay. Yeah, that sounds similar.
Okay, now check this just in case.
No.
Okay.
It was definitely that first one. It was definitely that panel box popping open.
Okay.
Who is the figure that people see standing over this bed? My name is Ryan, that's Dave. Can you tell us your name so we know who we're speaking to?
Whoa.
Could you please repeat that? Let's walk up on the upper. We haven't done anything on the upper decker yet.
We have not.
It's been 26 years since that night that people believe caused this cabin to have many ghost stories. Is there anyone still here from that night or an energy that was created? Who came through and spoke through this box? I haven't heard any voices come through since. Who was that? Can you say your name again? So Dave's got the SLS camera here, and it uses light sensors to map shapes of humans. If anything shows up on the screen that he is looking at there on the tablet that maps as a human figure with the stick figure mapping, it could possibly be an anomaly, and you can see the lasers, the lights that are projecting out the front of the camera that are what actually causes it to map things. While we do that, I'm gonna roll on the Vox, Ghost Tube Vox.
Okay, Cheryl, if you're here, can you stand in front of me in the doorway here between the bathroom and the kitchen? I'd like to try and take your picture.
What happened in this cabin 26 years ago? Can you tell us?
Whoa. There's something by our equipment.
Who is that over there?
Cheryl, is that you?
Is it still there?
Gone. Oh, That gave me cold chills, man. Yeah. We may not have said this, but we apologize for what happened to you. It's not right. It wasn't fair. And we don't mean any disrespect coming in here trying to talk to you. We just wanted you to have your turn.
For 26 years, people have told stories of the mark left on this cabin from that horrific night. We came here to find out if the stories were true, and left with some incredible experiences.
Kind of like a childhood dream come true here.
Hell yeah, man, let's get this pirate hunt started. It just said murder.
To get kicked out of the group of the lowest of the low, you have to be pretty relentless, nasty person.
What? These Harp Brothers would become known as America's first serial killers. Whoa. Dude. Is there someone buried right here?
Don't come in.
Oh, wow. That was one of the creepiest disembodied voices I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Hauntings.
Wow, look at the view up here.
Yeah, this is a tad bit crazy.
Dave, we are in Cave-in Rock, Illinois, in the southern part of the state, right along the Ohio River. From here, we can see the state of Kentucky. And it is well known that just after the formation of the United States of America, after the Revolutionary War, this river was rampant with river pirates. One of them we actually both have a connection to, because he fought during the Revolutionary War as a captain at Fort Henry in Wheeling, West Virginia, the city where we lived for 2 years.
Yes, he did.
And the city where I was born. His name was Samuel Mason, and right below our feet right now is a cave that he used as one of the most infamous hideouts in his time as a river pirate.
After his time at Fort Henry, Mason was elected Justice of the Peace and was even selected as an associate judge in Pennsylvania, where he served until 1784, when he finally moved to Kentucky after some of his neighbors accused him of being a thief. But they had no idea what kind of monster Samuel Mason would become. By 1802, his crimes were so vicious and widespread that the governor of Mississippi offered a $2,000 reward for his capture. And when Mason was arrested in the Spanish Louisiana Territory in January of 1803 and accused of piracy, he claimed to be an innocent farmer who had been maligned by his enemies. But the contents of his baggage told a different story: $7,000 in stolen currency and 20 human scalps. This told the Spanish that Samuel Mason was lying. Not only was he a pirate, but he was the leader of a gang of pirates, which would famously become known as the Mason Gang. And from 1797 to 1799, this cave was their hideout.
Very dangerous men.
But Samuel Mason had a strange connection, and in this cave, 2 men named Micaiah and Wiley Harp, they came to join his gang. He didn't realize it at the time, but in history, these Harp Brothers would become known as America's first serial killers.
Micaiah and Wiley Harp and their 3 wives came to the cave to hide out and join the Mason Gang. They were better known as the Harp Brothers, although history debates whether they were actually indeed brothers, or if they were cousins. In 1798 and 1799, it's estimated they took the lives of anywhere from 38 to 50 victims. They allegedly declared war on humanity, and anyone who crossed their path was a target, even their own infant children. In April 1799, with a $300 bounty on each of their heads, and a trail of bodies in their wake, Micaiah and Wiley brought their brutality to Cave-In Rock.
Dave, right here, this little area, this bluff that overlooks the Ohio River, this is where the story of the Harp Brothers at Cave-In Rock becomes infamous. If you think to get kicked out of a gang of river pirates that already rob, murder, assault, attack people, the act that you have to commit has to be pretty gruesome.
To get kicked out of the group of the lowest of the low, you have to be pretty relentless, nasty person.
And from what we understand, right here on this spot, this is right below us is the cave. They would capture people from the flatboats that they were robbing, and they would bring them up here on top of this bluff as the rest of the gang was pillaging their ship. They would strip them naked, they would beat them, and they would force them to walk naked off of this cliff, falling down directly in front of the cave and into the water or onto the hard rocks below. The act that made the gang turn against the Harp Brothers was they actually tied a man naked to a horse, blindfolded both the man and the horse, and drove the horse with the man on it over this cliff.
From what I heard, they led the horse right up here and they spooked the horse and over the edge it went.
Samuel Mason himself, the leader of this gang, came out of the cave and said, "That's it, you're done."
The truth is, between the Harp Brothers' murderous wrath and the Mason gang's deadly piracy, no one knows how many people lost their lives at this cave in those 2 years. Some say Mason even turned the cave into a tavern, gambling den, and brothel, calling it Wilson's Liquor Vault and House for Entertainment, to lure in travelers and the crews of riverboats, then robbed them and killed them. Some have even speculated the idea that a buried treasure exists inside or near this cave, though none was ever found. But we're here today for our own kind of treasure, to see if all of the dark history has created a haunting here at Cave-In Rock.
One thing that we just read was that this cave is made entirely of limestone, and limestone is known to trap energy and hold energy. A lot of limestone buildings are known to be haunted by residual hauntings because they believe that that limestone holds that energy. This is a huge limestone rock with a cave in it. So who knows what could be trapped inside that stone.
This is a very secluded area down through here, so even now, I couldn't imagine back then. And basically they just had this whole tract of land here to do whatever kind of crimes they wanted.
Oh,
Wow. Holy crap.
here it is. Who knows what this cave saw, what this rock, what these rock walls saw in those years.
I'm sure they have withheld a lot of energy, I'm sure.
Yeah. You want to go inside?
Yeah, let's take a look inside.
Before we walk in here, I want to start rolling on the Ghost Tube, a program designed by our friends Amy and Jared from Amy's Crypt. It uses the magnetometer inside the device to pick up on fluctuations in magnetic fields, and there's a word database that it can then select words from. And we've had some interesting encounters in the past with relevant words coming through that we couldn't explain, so you died.
Died.
Yeah, you did die. This is pretty crazy. This opens up into a bigger cavern than I thought that it did.
My baby.
Dude, One of the stories of the Harp Brothers was when they were on the run and the babies were crying, that the Harp Brothers were known to have killed many of their own children.
Yeah.
We've never had that come through the ghost tube before. That is creepy.
Yeah. Apparently the Harp Brothers were very short fused. Even their kids.
Stalker.
Huh.
We did stalk you here to this cave, if there's anyone here that can hear my voice. We came here because we heard the stories of the brutality, not just of the Mason gang, but the Harp Brothers. And we're going to be walking around here this afternoon with some lights and boxes and things that you probably don't recognize. But if you come through and try and talk to us and tell us your story, we'll listen. Crazy.
I can understand why they use this as like a hideout, because this is perfect.
It would be perfect to have a jump on any ships, and look behind you. It's the perfect view of the river.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss any flatboats going by using this as a hideout and a watch point. If you guys are ever in the area in southern Illinois, you have to check out Cave in Rock. I'm excited to see what we get when we're here today.
Who'd have thought we would have been in southern Illinois looking for pirates, is all I'm going to say.
Right?
Here we are.
Turning the ISO up because it keeps getting darker and darker the further back in here that we go.
Yeah. It makes me wonder, Hold on, let me get down here. I don't want to slide.
Yeah, don't fall down.
It makes me wonder the potential of how many bodies may be buried in here,
That is true. I never thought of that.
So
it would be a good place to dispose of them. Dirt floor in the cave.
yeah.
You rob a flatboat, dispose of the crew. Perfect place to hide the bodies, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming.
Who are you? My name is Ryan, and this is Dave, and we're here to try and talk to you. We're here because of the history of this place, but if there's anyone that's left behind here that lost their life here, we also have tools that we can use to speak to you. So we decided to stop rolling there on the walkthrough because we had a family of 6 come in while we were running the ghost tube. We didn't want them to feel like they had to be on camera, and we wanted them to enjoy their visit here to this park, so we decided to cut right there. We're up here on top of where the cave is now. The cave is literally directly below our feet right now. And people have had paranormal experiences here. I know you said you've read a couple of things, Dave, right?
I have, yeah. People say that they have heard at the entrance of the cave that they can hear screaming or yelling coming from within the cave. Apparently, we have heard that the area here has a reputation for hauntings, so...
Yeah. One thing I think we need to focus on tonight is not just the Harp Brothers to see if there's any paranormal activity related to them, but also the Mason gang, because this was their hideout. The Harp Brothers were only here for a short period of time, and we know they had victims that they murdered here in this cave, but the Mason gang were not angels either. The illicit activity, the thievery, the piracy that went on in here could have trapped some energy behind, so we may run into someone from the Mason gang tonight.
Quite the reputation all around for all of these folks, but like you said, Samuel Mason and his group spent the majority of their time here, so
yeah,
that might be who we run into tonight.
And that history is 200 years old. So we'll see what happens. The sun is setting towards the horizon line. Let's grab the equipment, put batteries in it. And for a couple hours this evening, spend some time inside a cave-in rock to see if we can have some sort of a paranormal experience or capture paranormal evidence.
I'm excited for this, man. This is something completely different for us on our channel to be able, like I said earlier, to be here in the southernmost point of Illinois looking for pirates. I mean, it's kind of like a childhood dream come true here.
Hell yeah, man. Let's get this pirate hunt started.
Let's do it.
All right, Dave. The waves are lapping here on the shores of the Ohio River. Right around the corner is the infamous cave-in rock. So historical, possibly even very haunted from what first-hand accounts have said. The sun has descended, it's almost completely dark, and we're gonna walk around the corner and see what's going on in cave-in rock.
Oh yeah. I'll say that the last few minutes that I've been sitting here, the energy in this area has shifted just a little bit, and it has become very creepy. So I'm interested to see, the closer we get to the entrance of the cave here where all of the action took place, if the energy feeling gets a little more intense.
And as we walk around here, we can't forget that we have an action cam and an audio recorder rolling with the REM pod already in the cave that I set up just a minute ago. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if anything will come out and talk to us. Right along these shores, the Mason gang would have been waiting for boats, waiting to ambush. And to just imagine also standing here, the Harp Brothers forcing people to jump off of these rocks up here over top of our heads. It's just wild.
There's a lot of energy and sadness and grief and stuff with all of those actions. And I'm sure that it is imprinted here on this land.
And here we are. The entrance to the cave that's now known as Cave-In Rock. To start off, as we go in here, I'm gonna roll on the ghost tube Vox. It uses the magnetometer just like the original ghost tube, but this time it sweeps through the spirit box and decides which frequencies to sweep to using the magnetic fields. Watch your step going through here, okay?
Switching and
Hello? They're
What'd it say?
there's something in, or came right in, or something like that.
do you want
What? Are you okay? You keep looking back like, do you think someone's following us?
Well, I've got cold chills like really bad, and I thought I heard something behind me here, but I'm not 100% sure what it was. It kind of sounded like footsteps.
It sounded like it said, not to be dramatic, but it sounded like it said demon.
Really?
Yeah.
do you want
What?
do you want
What? Is someone here from the Samuel Mason gang? We heard you boys used to hang out here. You used to use this as a hideout.
Yeah, he's one.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, it's one or something like that.
Samuel Mason, is he in here?
Mr. Mason, I was born in Wheeling, West Virginia. You fought there during the Revolutionary War. at Fort Henry. Back then, it wasn't Wheeling, West Virginia, it was Wheeling, Virginia. If you're here, sir, can you touch that red light in the middle of the floor?
No.
If you don't want to, you don't have to, sir.
That was creepy, man.
Is there someone here that was a victim of the Harp Brothers? We heard he used to make you jump off the cliff.
Yeah, he's one of the couple.
He's just complete.
I died.
I don't know. That was creepy. That many voices have not come through at once, different voices. And as soon as I asked if there was anyone here that was a victim of the Harp Brothers, 3 different voices came through.
Yeah.
It could be coincidence, but we've had this running for a little while now, like 15 minutes.
That's creepy. Are there bodies buried in here?
Yeah, he's one of the.
Yeah, he's something.
I heard that clearly.
Warning!
Warning?
Warning.
What are you warning
It's like
us?
every time you walk right over there.
Like right here?
In that area where the Mel is.
Yeah. Is there someone buried right here?
Did you hear that?
Yes.
It sounded like a scream.
It was either a scream or a whistle, but it was very high pitched.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
What is your name? Can you please tell us your name? Did you hear that?
I'm gonna walk out there and see if there's anyone out there, okay?
Okay.
It sounds like a girl crying.
Yeah. All right, it's just me in here now. I'm still waiting on you to touch that red light right there, please. Even if it's just one time, can you try it just one time? It won't hurt you.
All right, I'm standing out here in front of the cave and there's nobody out here. It is a park, so I thought maybe someone may have come into the park. But there is nobody out here. I hear the ghost tube going off back in here, so let me head back in. There's a box in my hand right here that if you come up and talk to me, we'll be able to hear your voice. Can you say something to us? Samuel Mason, are you here with us? What'd you hear?
I heard a woman talking again.
What'd you hear? Does anyone here know anybody by the name of Harp or Harper?
Whoa. Dude.
Hold on. Hold up a second. That's the first time that REM pod has gone off. Hold on, I gotta figure.
That's crazy.
It wasn't me. We've been in here for now 45 minutes. That has not gone off the entire time we've been in here.
No.
So far, not a single voice through the S-box.
There's your voice. What did it say? Go?
It sounded like it said go. Do you want us to leave?
If you want us to leave, can you set this red light off again, please? Samuel Mason, are you in here? Samuel Mason, are you in here?
Was this your hideout?
Did the Harp Brothers get you killed?
What if one of us stays here in the cave and the other one goes to the top of the cliff where they used to make people walk off, and we see if having two people investigating at those 2 points causes some sort of a connection in the energy and maybe more stuff will come through?
It's a possibility.
Dave's gonna stay here in the cave. I'm gonna go up where they used to actually, where the Harp Brothers would have their victims jump from, and where they actually ran that horse and that man off of the cliff. I'm gonna go sit up there at the ledge and see if anything will come through to me up there.
And then I'm going to be down here right at the bottom of the cliff where the horse and all of the other victims would have fallen right here on these rock faces.
Sinner.
Ghost Tube just said something.
I guess it's Sarah. I'm going to go get that and bring it out here with me.
Okay.
All right, he is making his way around the corner.
I am heading up the path here. It is going to be quite interesting, and it is actually quite dark now. And it is quite creepy.
So I'm going to go back in here and get the ghost tube because it is going off a lot. And I want to be able to hear it. So we'll leave that there.
And hopefully Dave doesn't get too creeped out down there alone in the cave.
Guys, it's very creepy in here. When you're in here by yourself, it's very creepy. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. That hurt like a mother. What did you just say to me? What'd you just say to me? I'm not going to be able to see what it said now, but I think it was laughing at me. Okay, well, that hurt. I will say it is very dark out here in these trees, but I can just see well enough to know where I'm going to fall in. I will say that this is really cool right here. This is the top of the cave. Okay, is there somebody?
Demon.
Demon. Guys, I just said demon. Or David. One of the two. Why would you say that?
Demon.
What?
Demon.
What? Who are you? What is your name? Tell me your name.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah?
I'm at the fenced-in top part. Just wanted to say hi.
Oh, hi. Ryan was just talking to me through the hole that's at the top of the cave. So that means he's getting ready to
War.
Every time I turn around, it says something. War. It says war. Were you part of a war? Whoa.
Hello? If there's someone here that's been waiting for me to come up here, can you touch that again for me? That didn't go off at all when we were in the cave. But once again, I'm sitting right here, actually in between me and the camera, right where the Mel meter is sitting, would have been the last leap before the edge of the cliff where many of these people allegedly were forced to jump by the Harp Brothers here at Cave In Rock. You talk about creepy, creepy energy. This is like ominous.
Where are you?
I'm standing right here. Where are you? That's what I want to know. Were you a victim of one of the Harp Brothers? What about Samuel Mason?
Talk to me.
I am talking to you.
Caution.
Talk to me. Caution. I am talking to you. Will you please talk to me? Tell me your name.
Okay.
Thank you. Tell me your name, please. Can you please tell me your name?
Was someone forced to jump off of this cliff here? There's a man's voice. Could you get closer, please, and speak a little bit more clearly so I can hear you?
Well, Samuel, or one of the Harp Brothers, Big Harp, Little Harp, I'm here. I'm waiting for you to do something to me like you did all these people. So do something. I couldn't imagine being such a coward that you would have to blindfold a man and then blindfold a horse and spook it off the edge of a cliff just to make yourself feel better. That's a disgusting piece of garbage to me.
It just said murder. Dude, the hair is standing up on my neck right now. Who murdered you? Can you say their names?
Don't come in.
Oh, wow. You guys, I was literally walking into the cave and it said that. Why shouldn't I come in? Why shouldn't I come into the cave? Tell me.
Can you tell me the name of the man who operated the gang of river pirates from the cave down below?
Dangerous.
They were very dangerous men, weren't they? Or they liked to make people believe that they were. It's a shame that these innocent people were just trying to live their lives or start their lives over by moving down the river to somewhere new. And they had to run into terrible, awful people like that.
I thought I heard a man's voice come through and say murder. Which is very strange considering the circumstances of what occurred from this cliff 223 years ago. All right, so we have about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes before the park closes. We're gonna be out of here by the time the park closes, just out of respect for the park itself. But we wanna run back down to the cave here really fast and do a sweep through the cave with the SLS camera to see if any unexplained figures pop up. This uses laser sensors, structure light sensors, to actually map human-shaped objects. If something pops up in a stick figure mapping on the screen, it may possibly be an anomaly, so. I just walk into the water. It's dark out here. It's dark out here, guys.
It is very dark out here. Let's show them. Let me turn the night shut off real quick.
Okay.
All you can see is the monitor that right on the SLS there. That's it, guys.
All right. Here we go. We're going in. If anything pops up in maps, of course, this is recorded, so you will see it on screen along with me. But I will also let you know. Let me change the depth here, the depth treatment. There we go. Who was it that told Dave not to come in here?
What is that?
It sounds like someone injured.
It sounded like somebody singing.
Did it sound?
Like,
Yeah. Hold on. There's no one else in this park, man.
hello? Sweep that out here, man. I don't know what that was.
Okay, there's Dave.
I hope that the audio picked that up. It was like a...
Who was it that told Dave not to come in here?
What is that?
We don't realize it here in this moment, but this experience caused us to go home and do more research on the history of this cave. And it turns out in the mid-19th century, church services were held inside the cave. Could this be the residual energy of those church services, replaying itself in the form of disembodied singing? Take another listen.
Who was it that told Dave not to come in here?
What is that? That was one of the creepiest disembodied voices I've ever heard.
Yeah. It made both of us stop right in our tracks.
Yeah. Do you want this, actually?
Sure, yeah. I'll carry it.
And as you guys already know, flash to the clip of me busting my butt in here. Oh. It is very wet, slippery, and dangerous in here.
Yes, so if you guys come to visit Cave in Rock, be very cautious. I can't even tell them that I'll take their picture if they stand in front of me, because if they're from the late 18th century, they're not going to know what a camera is. They're not going to know what a picture is.
No.
That wasn't a thing back then. So I kind of just have to catch them by surprise.
Can you come out here and stand beside me and try and grab onto my hand here? Come on, somebody come out and try and grab my hand here. It's that singing. It's that singing.
That was a woman that's singing that time, it sounded like.
There's nobody up there.
Nobody. We've been outside this cave tonight more than we've been inside.
Yeah.
And this session is the only time we heard that humming, singing sound. And we've not heard anything outside that could be misconstrued as that.
No.
I can't think of an explanation for that. That sent chills up my spine.
Do what?
I said, I'm not having much luck with this SLS. There's only certain places we can walk now because the cave's starting to take on water. So, and I'm getting a lot of water drips in the center of the screen, and water and electronics don't mix too well. So we may have to scrap this SLS walkthrough so that the equipment doesn't get damaged, but...
I think that we were meant to come down here and pick up whatever that singing was.
Yeah, because we weren't going to do this SLS sweep.
No.
We were gonna pack up and do a closing and call it a night. And I said, let's bring this SLS camera down here and just do a sweep just for fun and see what happens. And that's what we hear, that's what we capture.
That's crazy. You've been messing with the devices. Now that device over there, can you do it one more time? I'm gonna count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it go off. Holy crap. Dude, that's one of the craziest things I've ever experienced right there.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have a really fun night ahead of us. We are actually on a boat getting ready to be dropped off on a haunted island, and we will be there all night until tomorrow morning. So it's gonna be an interesting night because once we get off this boat, we're just gonna have our tents, our sleeping bags, and our equipment. And there is not only a lot of history with the island that makes it haunted, but there's also a mansion that we are going to get to spend some time investigating. So we're excited to get over there and land on the island.
We are, yeah, I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've been out here. It is definitely very creepy once the sun goes down. I do remember that. It's gonna be a good night, and we're gonna be joined by our friends at Hidden Marietta tonight. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and grab the bags. Once this boat lands, we're gonna get off and we're gonna go talk to Hidden Marietta, find out what makes the Blennerhassett Island so interesting, haunted, and historical. So.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave, so we officially got the campsite set up. Everything's ready to go there. We got out some of the equipment, and now that we are officially alone, all the tourists from the island have left. Yes. So it's just us and Hidden Marietta here on the island.
I think things are gonna start getting a little bit creepier once the sun starts going down a little bit. Having been on the island a couple of times, it's always been with tourists, and now with everybody leaving, like you said, I think it's just gonna be a little bit more interesting tonight.
The weird part of it is that once the sun goes down, we will be alone on this island, just us and whatever spirits or entities haunt the areas that surround us. Because not only are we going to be able to investigate the actual Blennerhassett mansion here on the island, but we're also going to be able to investigate the surrounding areas, which are all outdoors, but where we have our tents set up, where we're camping, we have our tents set up in an area that was used as Native American burial grounds. Mm-hmm. And they have paranormal experiences there all the time. But I think we need to have a little bit better grasp of the history before we go into this investigation.
Agreed.
So there's actually 2 staff members from Hidden Marietta that we're gonna talk to, and they're gonna give us the history that we need to know for tonight's investigation. So let's go meet up with them and see what they have to say.
Let's go get them.
All right. All right, so we are actually sitting outside of the Blennerhassett mansion, and we are here with Viva from Hidden Marietta. Viva, tell us a little bit about the history of this mansion and why they believe it to be haunted.
Well, the mansion and the island itself have quite a lot of history, not just with the Blennerhassetts, but the history that came before that as well. The island actually used to be inhabited by several different Native American tribes, and a lot of the island actually still has those Native American burial mounds here. Where we're actually going to be camping this evening actually is right on top of where that Native American burial ground is, and it is said that one of the chiefs, Chief Neolin, is actually buried on that side of the island as well.
The land that we're on now was originally inhabited by the natives, and especially the Delaware tribe. They had a chief that was very well known and is actually in a lot of history books today and talked about, named Chief Neolin, and he is buried on the island behind where we are right now. He passed away in 1767. The staff on the island see what they call the Watchers, and they think that they are probably some of the natives that were originally here. They just appear usually as a black mass, like a shadow, and dart in and out in between trees. They said they've never felt any kind of negative from them. They kind of just feel like they're here protecting the land.
The Blennerhassetts, Harmon and Margaret Blennerhassett, they were originally from Europe, and of course they fell in love with each other. They had a very untraditional love affair because he was actually her uncle. So it was quite frowned upon by the family members, so they decided to move out to the States here. They ended up stumbling upon this island. They came here around 1789, and they ended up building this beautiful house here. And of course, Margaret, Harmon's wife, Margaret Blennerhassett, ended up having children, one of which unfortunately did pass away when she was very young, between the age of 2 and 4.
Wow. And so probably that energy, and just like any other family, I mean, losing a child is probably one of the most traumatic moments a mother or even a family can experience. So I'm sure that has probably left a mark on this house.
Absolutely. Little Margaret, or Little Snowdrop, as the family used to call her, is actually seen here in the house behind us. Of course, this house is a replica. The original house was burned down quite some time ago. One of the greatest things about this island is the fact that right after, if anybody is familiar with Hamilton, right after Aaron Burr unfortunately killed Alexander Hamilton in their duel, he ended up escaping here to Harmon Blennerhassett's Island to try to seek refuge. Of course, he swindled Harmon out of almost every single penny that he owned and ended up getting Harmon in a lot of trouble. Of course, they ended up losing their fortune. They lost their house. They lost the land. A lot of the items that were in the house were completely ransacked until eventually the house was burned down. So it is really sad, but this island itself has quite a lot of history, not just Native Americans. Blennerhassetts did also own slaves, so there have been reports of hanging trees on the island, different slave quarters and foundations that have been found on the island. And of course, with the Blennerhassetts leaving their mark on the island, I think it kind of gives this island a life of its own.
Have you ever had paranormal experiences camping out there?
So yeah, usually as far as when we're at the campsite, we will hear people walking, especially if we're like in the tent getting ready for bed and we know that all our guests are already in bed. We don't go to bed while anybody's still up. You'll see shadows kind of dart within the firelight across your tent, or hear people touching your tent. We also, the biggest experience I've had here, I don't get scared whatsoever. I'm usually pretty mellow and calm. But we were up late, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting by the campfire. And I got the urge to look toward a building that's here. All the lights were off except for one light on the front of that building that was like illuminating the walkway in front of it a little bit. And it was pitch black. I mean, there's no city lights or anything anywhere around us. And I saw a figure walk across the building, and it was darker than the night. It was darker than dark. So, and I still don't know how I could see it, but it was that black that I could see it. And it was as tall as the building. And I could clearly see its legs separating as it walked. So I kind of like gasped and jumped back, which never happens. And I was with one of the officers that guards the island, and he actually took off after it. I was so stressed out and scared that it was something that I tried to stop him because I thought for sure he was going to be attacked by something. When it went into the light, it disappeared, and I thought it was gone. But then after the light stopped, you could see it walk off into the woods and go behind a tree. So we did go to that tree, and we couldn't find anything whatsoever.
Oh my God, that sounds like it's something out of a horror movie.
It was crazy. It was weird. It was just so shocking to be like pitch black and still be able to see something that was even darker than the pitch black.
It's interesting that, this being a replica, even though it's not the original house, it's basically an exact replica of what the house looked like. So if there were any spirits that were here, left behind after the house burned down, it would only make sense that once this house was completely rebuilt that they would migrate over here. What kind of paranormal experiences have you had on the island or in the mansion?
Well, my paranormal experiences, I feel whenever I am in the house, it is a very comforting, very nice feeling. It doesn't feel malicious or angry at all. I have seen little Margaret, little Snowdrop in the house. I've seen Margaret wandering here in the grounds, and I've also felt her in the house. But the main thing that always stands out to me is the island itself. It has a life of its own once the sun drops. It pretty much comes alive, and people and myself have seen shadow figures all throughout this island, and we believe it to be the Native Americans that were still buried here that still look after the island.
Now, one of the things that, when the Blennerhassett family, if they did pass away, were they buried here on the island?
After the Blennerhassetts passed away, they actually passed away really far away from here. Harmon ended up going back to Europe, Margaret, after she passed away, her remains were actually held in a safe in New York City, and they were able to bring Margaret and her son back to the island that she cherished so much. And she's actually buried here with her son.
Where on the island is she buried?
Just over in that direction there.
Can we go over and look at it here really quickly?
Yeah, of course,
All
of
right,
course.
let's walk over there. And we'll keep rolling. Oh wow, so this is their final resting place.
Yes. Margaret is here to my left, and Harmon Blennerhassett Jr., Margaret and Harmon's son, is actually buried here to my right.
Have people ever experienced, whenever you've brought tours out here, or even during the day, have people ever had any experiences with Margaret and Harmon?
A lot of people have experiences with Margaret. They tend to see her wandering around the island, very sad, very somber. Of course, that could be chalked up to having lost her young daughter, Margaret. But a lot of people have had intelligent interaction with her, so we believe that that would be something that is very intelligent, very much. She knows that she's passed on, but she's still here to kind of greet people to the island. Of course, we know that with a place like this, it can have some sort of residual energy to it. It's known heartbreak, it's known beauty, it's known several different things over the years. So of course it's still gonna retain that sort of energy to it.
You're right though, whenever you said that this island has an energy, you know, whenever you step foot on it, when we got off the boat to come in as we were unloading all the equipment and the camping equipment, you know, you can feel the energy as soon as you step foot on this island. And I'm really excited for the sun to go down.
It's like a whole new world when you're on here. It just feels like you're completely separate from the outside world. It's really breathtaking, the island itself, but it's also very much intimidating. The size of it, the beauty of it, and just the overall spookiness of it.
The sun's getting ready to dip down below the trees here, so let's start grabbing the equipment and we will get ready to start investigating here. Are you ready, Dave?
I am ready.
All right, let's do it. What?
I thought, are they back outside here? I thought I just heard a woman's voice.
I don't think so.
I swear I thought I just heard a woman's voice. That was weird. I thought it was maybe Beaver, one of the Hidden Marietta crew outside here. Whoa. Dude.
Whoa.
That REM pod just went off. We haven't even...
Hello?
That hit the red light, man. That's the first time that's gone off like in a long time. We are now inside. Dave and I are inside the replica of the Blennerhassett mansion. Now, this was built in the year 1990.
but they made a replica of the house that used to stand here that burned down. And the story of the Blennerhassett family is one of very unique sadness and tragedy. After Aaron Burr killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel, he came here and ruined the Blennerhassett family. And their house eventually fell into disrepair, ruin, and then would burn down. But when the state park came in here, they built an exact replica of their house. And if you think about it, the spirits of this family that found happiness on this island could flock to this replica of the house because it is their home. It's a replica. It sits right where their house was. And a lot of people experience paranormal activity in here. And as you can see, that REM pod literally not even 30 to 40 seconds after we set it down, it went off. Whoa. Dude.
Oh, whoa.
That REM pod just went off. We haven't even...
That was crazy.
That was.
Didn't even get to like roll on anything yet.
No. We also have the SLS camera set up in the bedroom. Actually, Mrs. Blennerhassett's mirror is in that room.
Yes, it is. This whole section of the house.
Dude.
Fuck. That's...
That was on the red light, man.
It was blue.
It went to red, though. Before it went off, it was red.
What is going on?
Who's here with us right now? Dude, and I literally, I'm not even joking. We have had so many investigations that have gone by without that REM pod going off that I've legitimately said, let's throw that one away and buy a new one.
Yeah.
But it has gone off twice in the first 3 minutes that we've been in here.
That's freaky.
Yeah. Are you a member of the Blennerhassett family? Okay. Let me set this up right here. If there's someone in here, you can walk over there to the bed and stand in front of it, or over by the fireplace. And we got a camera set up on that tripod that'll take your picture. If you go stand over there. What is going on with this REM pod in this spot?
I don't know.
I just set the Mel meter down right beside it to check and see what's, that's the third time that's gone off sitting in that spot. And we need some sort of clarification from that.
Like I was saying, though, this whole wing back here just has a very, very odd vibe to it. It's very overwhelming.
It does. It's very weird in here. If there's anyone here, can you tell us what you think of Aaron Burr? Back there on the back wall is a mirror that belonged to Mrs. Blennerhassett. Both at the same time, dude. What is causing that? It's not the furnace kicking on or the air conditioning kicking on. There's nothing running.
The Walnut room's right under that.
The Walnut room is right underneath of that. Whoa. Something's flashing here. It's picking up on something. The light on the side is flashing. They both went off at the exact same time, man. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of a logical explanation for what's causing these to both go off in this spot. We thought it was the REM pod going bad. Temperature. We're getting a temperature fluctuation here.
Let's take a step back. See what happens here.
That's what that red light was. It was detecting a temperature.
Let's walk over here.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, Craig, do you happen to have like a radio on you?
It's turned off.
Oh, okay. That's because we're getting the REM pod going off like crazy up here.
Yeah, I'm not even on my phone.
And sometimes those radios, but they usually have to be on in order for it to set it off.
Right.
Little hallway would be right here above the Walnut.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be, it's not like there'd be anybody out here on the island using
Not right now.
a radio anyway. Like if we're in the middle of downtown and we have a bunch of police cars going by,
Yeah.
it'd be one thing.
Like I said, though, typically you have to be like right up on it.
Yeah. The superintendent has to be here in the mansion with us while we're in here. Because it is a museum, everything is very breakable in here. He's on property with us, but he's been sitting down here the whole time, right beside the front door. That's weird. Right as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
And there's not anything that's in this room that would give off static or anything like that, or radio waves.
Shouldn't be.
Because it was like from the moment we set it down on the floor, it was just like immediately.
Right.
It was weird.
Well, let's go.
But the fact that they're working in tandem means
There's a strong energy there.
that there's a strong energy there, that they're working the way that they were intended to work. They're both going off at the same time, which is why I set it down there. Which is why when the REM went off twice or three times or whatever, I put the mail down and I was like, well, if the one's gonna go off, they both should.
Can you try and pick that up? Try and pick it up.
Are you kidding me? I have not seen REM pod interaction like that in a long time. But what I was gonna say is that something is setting it off. And that's why you keep hearing me ask the superintendent, is there a radio around here? Because a lot of times those walkie-talkies will set off the REM pods and stuff, which is why you'll notice on every investigation that we do for Paranormal Quest, nobody's carrying a walkie-talkie, and it's for that reason. Walkie-talkies set those off, walkie-talkies contaminate everything, so we don't carry them. What was interesting to point out is that that is exactly where earlier today, when we were shooting B-roll in here, before we'd even been in here, and when you walked into that hallway, you said you felt like, you said it was freaky, you felt freaked out, you felt chills.
100%.
Right where you put that REM pod.
Okay, so Ryan is going to be sitting here in this doorway where we've been having a bunch of activity. And he's going to do an Estes method. And we're going to see what happens. If there is anybody in here that was...
I'm here.
Really? Okay. Can you go over there? Wow. Thank you very much. Can you tell Ryan? Can you say I did?
Take her green. There was two different voices. It sounded like a woman said, take her, and then the man said green.
Go over and tell Ryan that you set that off. Say I did. We're just here.
Please.
We're here to talk to you.
Wow.
What's your name? Are you a Blennerhassett? Yes or no?
Man's voice, I couldn't make it out though.
If you're
I'm feeling something to my right. It felt like someone was staring at me through that doorway.
If that's you standing there beside Ryan, can you make that device go
Hi.
off? If that's you standing there.
Hi.
Can you also
It
make
was
that?
ice cold on my right side. I do not like that. Ooh. It is ice cold right here.
Are you standing by Ryan?
Man's voice couldn't hear it. I was too freaked out about the cold air.
If you're over there by Ryan, tell him your name.
It is still ice cold on my right hand side.
Can you step away?
Never. Or something like that. Man's voice. It is still ice cold. Never.
We're just here to speak with you. Is that okay?
There's voices that I'm hearing, but they're really muffled. Might want to tell them to speak more clearly.
We were given permission to be here to speak with you. We'd like for you to speak with us as clearly as you can. Through the radio.
Pain.
What kind of pain? Why are you in pain? I'm looking right at where you're making that device go off. I don't want you to feel bad.
Did it or didn't or something like that.
I don't want you to feel bad for breaking something, but can you push that right off of that ledge? The device that you keep making go off? Can you push it right off of there onto the floor? Go ahead. Push it right off of there. I want you to push that off of there.
Is there something behind me, man? Like that was a strong breeze on my neck.
I don't think so.
Like it was like heavy. Was that me that did that? It was me, or it's me. It was a woman's voice. Sounded like it said, it's me. Her, or it's her.
What's your name?
That was the strongest gust of air I think I've ever felt on an investigation. Sitting completely stationary in a building with all the windows closed.
Let us know, please. Was that you?
Man's voice, I couldn't make it out.
You've been messing with the devices. You've been letting us...
Hello, sounded like a kid.
You've been changing the temperature and everything in here. You're not in trouble. We're just curious about you, and we want to communicate with you. Now, that device over there, you've been making that go off all night long. I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it go off. Holy crap. That's one of the craziest things I've ever experienced right there. Thank you very much.
Shut it off.
So,
Was any of that intelligent?
not too much.
But you were gonna say so?
Something very cool happened to me.
Really?
I had the camera pointed at me. This hadn't gone off for several minutes. And I said, you've been communicating with us all night with like cold air and through the devices. And I said, I'm going to count down from 5. And I counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I pointed at it and I said, make it go off. And it just like that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it go off.
That's weird. And it hasn't gone off in quite a few minutes now. But I am not even kidding you when I say it felt like the blast of cold air hit me in the back of the neck, like someone was standing behind me going,
Huh.
It was so weird.
That's very strange.
The energies themselves, whether they're intelligent or not, is a different question, but the energies seem to have migrated back to this mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's almost brand new. It was built not about 31 years ago they built this replica. So it's not that old. But it sits on the exact same site as the old house and it looks exactly like the old house. So it would only make sense if I was a spirit and someone did that to my house. I'd move into the replica.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's start packing this stuff up, and what we'll do is we'll head outside. We'll go down by the campfire and check in with the Hidden Marietta crew and Polly. Dave's mom is here, Polly. She hasn't been on camera yet, but she is here. She's camping out with us tonight. And we'll see what we can tackle out on the island. It might be time to move to the great outdoors.
That's right.
See if we can track down any of these, what do they call them, watchers, that they say move through the trees.
Absolutely.
So, Dave and I just got done up there at the Blennerhassett mansion. Got some really creepy activity with the REM pod and the spirit box.
Try and pick it up.
Are you kidding me? I have not seen REM pod interaction like that in a long time. And we came down here to the campsite to find out the crew from Hidden Marietta is going to bed. It's getting to be pretty late here. The three of us, Polly is here as well, as I'd said. Polly is here, and of course Dave and I we're all three gonna walk around the island here. Maybe walk over to the burying place of Chief Neolin and see if we can come in contact with anything out here. They always talk about the shadow figures that move through the trees, and they call them the Watchers of the island. So it'll be interesting to see if we can pick up on any of that. Here come the geese. What? Oh, Jesus Christ! Did you catch that on camera?
What?
I didn't realize you were gonna walk past me, and I heard your foot on the gravel, and I spun around, about clotheslined you, and about had a heart attack.
Sorry.
Did you catch that on camera?
Yeah.
I thought you were still behind me, so when I heard that, I thought it was something moving over here, and I went, turn around, much to my surprise, there's Polly right.
Sorry.
You're good, you're good. That was the wake-up call I needed, I guess. It's so weird, though, because it's so dark out here. It's hard for us to keep track of where we're all standing, where each other are standing.
It is.
That's partially why that happened. It's because we lose track of each other in the dark.
Caution.
Caution. Whoa, that's weird.
That is very weird.
Right as soon as I came up to the site where it says site of Nemicolins, somewhere in the immediate area, stood the log cabin home of Nemicolin, a chief of the Delaware tribe.
That's very
It
weird.
feels creepy here.
It does.
It really does. Real creepy.
Why should we be cautious out here? We don't mean you any harm. We come in peace.
Back.
Back.
Back where? Let's go over here.
Okay. Who are the Watchers? We always hear stories about how there's these shadow figures that move through the trees who protect the island. We just want to see you too.
Back.
Just said back again.
What do you mean back? What do you want us to do? Chief Nemicolin, are you out here?
Whoa.
What was that?
Are you trying to sneak up on us? From the back?
Is that you, Chief?
The f was that? That sounded like someone just threw something into the water, man.
Or like somebody fell in.
Right.
Like someone fell into the water.
Listen. It's even louder.
I want to.
What in the heck is that?
I don't know. This is a big old fish.
It doesn't sound like a fish.
But why in the middle?
It's moving down this way.
Do you have your light? It's right down here. Who's out here? Who's throwing rocks into the water?
That's a fish. It's a big one, but it's a fish.
You think?
Yeah.
Can you see anything?
I don't see anything. Unless that's it right there. See it?
Yeah. Wow.
What is that?
It's a fish.
What?
A fish?
On top of the water?
Yeah.
Is it dead?
No, it's swimming.
What kind of fish is that? I don't know what kind of fish that is. It's getting closer.
Unless it's an otter or something. Is it a beaver?
I think it might be a beaver.
Oh yeah, that is a beaver.
It's a beaver!
That's
That was it. Well, guys,
Once again.
debunked by way of beaver. That might be my first wild beaver I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a wild beaver before.
I haven't seen one that close. But...
I believe this tree right here is the hanging tree, right?
That's what they said.
In front of you.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I cannot believe that. Is it this tree?
Yeah.
I cannot believe it said that.
Blennerhassetts did also own slaves, so there have been reports of hanging trees on the island, different slave quarters and foundations that have been found on the island.
I believe this tree right here is the hanging tree, right?
That's what they said.
In front of you.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I cannot believe that.
And they believe that the tree right here in front of us, which is what the ghost tube just said, was one of the hanging trees.
That's crazy.
That's weird. All right, we'll walk up to the tree. Yeah. Literally, we're walking down the path, and I just casually said, is that tree that we're walking up to the one that they believe that the hangings took place? And as soon as I said that, the ghost tube said,
In front of you.
like it was answering me.
Mm-hmm. Very clear.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Is this the branch that was used?
It's an old tree.
Crazy.
All right, so we are back over here. Actually, we are right behind the mansion, as you can see over here. Over here are the dedication stones to the Blennerhassetts that they believe were brought back to the island and buried. And we thought this would be a good place to kind of end the night before we actually bed down and camp for the morning as well. All right, is there anyone here with us that would want to talk? That's weird. I thought I heard that voice earlier whenever I was doing the Estus session. It was very... That man's voice is something that said help or hello or something.
Are you here with us?
Sounded like it said Dave. Didn't it? That's Dave right there. What's your name? Over here on the grave markers, we have Margaret. And of course we have Harmon Jr. Margaret? Harmon? Did you come back to the island here? What was that?
I don't know. Sounded like a yell.
That's what I thought.
What was that?
I don't know.
What was that sound? Are you yelling?
Say leave.
Sound like it said leave.
Why do you want us to leave? Did they burn your house down? Nothing.
It was weird though. It was like that. There was a yell. That
Sounded like a, what are they, like a Native American whoop, or what do they call that? A hoop?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
hoop
just like
call?
a yell or a scream or a battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I don't know.
Where did you hear it from?
Over here,
That's what I heard.
for sure.
It was like back in here in the trees, where we just came from.
Yeah, what if he was angry that we were over there?
Maybe. He might be. I don't know, but I don't know. I think the sun's gonna be coming up here pretty soon.
It is.
So it might be about time to bed down and get a few hours of sleep before the boat comes and picks us up in the morning. And maybe we'll have some experiences once we get in the tent. So
Maybe.
all right, so we are officially done investigating for the night. We are laying down in our tents. Gonna get a few hours of sleep here before the sun comes up. And then we have to load up all of the stuff that we brought onto the boat when it finally comes in the morning. Lug it all the way back over to shore. And then we can load it into the car and officially head out. So we will check in again in the morning when the sun comes up, or if there's any paranormal activity, because a lot of people have reported that when they're laying in their tents trying to fall asleep that they'll hear disembodied voices around them, or they'll hear footsteps. And I would leave a camera set up or something set up outside, but it's starting to rain off and on, and the last thing I want is to leave some equipment outside, have it get rained on pretty profusely, and then have to deal with wet or damaged equipment. So I'm gonna grab a couple hours of sleep here. I'll see you guys when the sun comes up. All right, guys. Sorry we didn't check in packing up there. It was a little bit of a race to get all the stuff unpacked from the tents, torn down, and we are actually now on the boat. We were able to catch an earlier boat out, and now we are going to head back to our cars on the mainland, and we're gonna head home. So this was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was an interesting night. We had a lot of stuff happen that we weren't expecting to happen, especially there in the museum, up in the bedroom area with the REM pods. That was absolutely crazy, and never experienced anything like that before. 2, 1, make it go off. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. So there's definitely paranormal activity here on Blennerhassett Island, and we want to thank Hidden Marietta, yes, the whole crew, for allowing us to investigate here and getting us into this amazing, not just mansion, but also getting us onto this island for the night.
Of course, if anybody is interested in coming here to book this island privately, do a public ghost hunt, do one of the tours here during the day as well, you're more than welcome to check out our Facebook page, Hidden Marietta. We also have an Instagram page, Hidden Marietta, and our website is www.hiddenmarietta.com, where we also offer tours of Marietta, Ohio, and several different places as well. We try to make sure that we have tours and ghost hunts on the island as regularly as possible, so if you are interested, check us out.
Yeah, and a special thank you to Craig and Tom for their great hospitality on the island. They were fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. The whole staff on Blennerhassett Island was amazing. So we're gonna head home now and get some sleep because we have more adventures coming up here very soon.
Yes, we do.
So be sure everyone to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Make sure to turn on those bell notifications and set them to all, and make sure to like this video so that you can be recommended more of our content. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.